Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. I actually think glasses off. No, I just hate the reflection of my glasses. Everything is fine. So today I am making a video and I titled it Student Teacher Survival Guide because these are things that I kind of wish I knew when I was doing my student teaching. So real quick, just go ahead and get the intro out of the way. If you're just happening upon this video because you are in your student teaching, you've started your student teaching, you're thinking about becoming a teacher, subscribe to my channel, please. I love making teacher videos and I love the community of teachers that are on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. So subscribe, comment down below if you fall into that category or if you're just one of my friends who loves to hear me talk. Hey! So I'm going to be talking about just some tips and things about student teaching that I think would be useful to the interwebs. So if you're excited for that, keep on watching. Okay, so first things first, if you do not know me, if you are a rando from the internet, hi, hello, how are ya? My name's Megan and I was doing my student teaching exactly a year ago. I graduated from Florida State in the spring of 2018 and my degree is in social science education, meaning that I can be a middle school or high school history teacher or a museum curator, one of the two. And I currently teach 10th grade world history. I live in Tampa, Florida. Love it here. I'm so happy. I've talked about in a bunch of my other videos how much I love my job, my coworkers, etc. But today I'm talking about my internship, which is the first real chit chat video I ever posted on my channel. It's called first day of student teaching, whatever. It's 6 minutes long and it's crazy that I posted that a year ago. Wow, I've gained 80 whole subscribers since then. Channel growth. But I did my internship in Tallahassee at a charter school there. And I taught 9th grade World Cultural Geography, which is the cousin course to World History. It is an elective. It is not state mandated, but every single 9th grader at the school would take the class. So that being said, it is a charter school. It works a little bit differently up there in Leon County. I only taught 4 classes, and I had approximately 80 students. That is my experience. I've spoke a little bit about my internship before. I'll sort of use some examples throughout this video to sort of illustrate my points more and where I'm coming from. But before I get into my tips and tricks and advice, survival guide, every single internship is going to be different. If you are thinking about becoming a teacher, if you are already in your internship, maybe you're taking your internship in the fall, everybody's is going to be different. So if you feel like some of these things do not apply to you or are not relevant, sorry, but they were relevant to me and I'm sure they'll be relevant to somebody. My roommate's boyfriend just walked in and I don't want it to seem like I'm talking to myself. So I'm going to shut my door. But I'll still be talking to myself. Hey Ryan, I'm filming a YouTube video, so if you hear me talking to myself, I'm not crazy. Promise. When you have to go explain that you're not talking to yourself because you're crazy, you're talking to yourself because you're filming for YouTube. If you are already in your internship, this is still relevant, but my first tip is to always advocate for yourself. Okay? If I had not advocated for myself, I would not have even gotten my internship placement. And I say that because back in my college days, I used to work at Michael's and I was a manager there off and on, just kind of whenever I felt like it. But I met my cooperating teacher when I was checking her out at Michael's. She was buying some Cricut stuff and she asked for her teacher discount. And I always asked, I was like, oh my gosh, where do you work? What do you teach? And she told me that she taught 10th grade geography and 11th American history. And I was like, oh, that's exactly what I would want to teach. Because back in the day, I did want to teach American history. Today, I'm good with my world, okay? No American, no thank you. But I was like, oh my gosh, what's your name? I'm doing my internship in X amount of time. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting an intern. And I was like, what is your name? Because I'm writing it down and I'm requesting you because, first of all, you seem nice. Second of all, that's what I want to teach. And so I went to my professor. Our professor who we had is the one who runs the entire program. But I was like, this is her name, this is the school, this is what she teaches, this is who I want to have my internship with. And he was like, are you sure? I was like, yes, sure. And he was like, well, we'll have to see. And of course that's who I ended up getting because he worked his little Disney magic, and that is who I ended up having. And if I had never done that, I could have ended up anywhere. So don't be afraid to speak up for yourself before your internship and during your internship. During your internship, if something is wrong, like if your teacher is not letting you do anything, you need to go to your university supervisor and say, this is what's wrong, this is why I'm uncomfortable, like X, Y, and Z is happening, because you need to make the most out of your experience. And there were people I had in my program who advocated for themselves and removed themselves from a bad situation, because not every internship teacher is going to be excited to have an intern, prepared to have an intern, or know how to treat an intern correctly. Your internship teacher should not give you their classroom and then bolt. That's not how that's supposed to work. So always advocate for yourself, because ultimately it is your college education, and typically how it works is that is the last thing you need to do before you graduate. So unless you want to delay graduation, advocate for yourself if something is wrong. On the same coin, if you're struggling, don't be afraid to ask for help from your supervising teacher. They are there to help you become a good teacher. Ask questions, ask for help. Number 2, and this is for my people that have not started their internship yet, prepare ahead of time. I mean a lot of things when I say that. 1, you are not going to be in college anymore. You are going to be a teacher who does not get paid for 4 months, okay? I tried to have a job at the same time. I could not do it. Not even working 1 day a week. You are going to be exhausted, more exhausted than you think. You're done with college. That sucks, and I'm not trying to deter people, but you're done with college. It gets real quick. So that being said, you need to start practicing waking up early, because I used to not be able to wake up before 9 a.m., which is insane. So what I did was, at Michael's, I stepped down from my management position and I started working on replenishment, where I had to get to work at 5 a.m., which literally meant me waking up at 4:25, rolling out of bed, brushing my teeth, putting clothes on, putting on jeans and a t-shirt, and showing up to work at 5 a.m. But sometimes I was late. Most days I was late. But it made it to where when I started my internship in the spring, I was used to waking up so much earlier, so it wasn't such a shock to my system those first few weeks. So you need to start adjusting your body to having a full-time job. Now, on the flip side of that, you're not going to be getting paid, boo-boo, so you need to start saving up some monies. The best thing I can offer for that, just quick and simple, is start meal planning every single week. Have your lunches packed. Already know what you're going to eat for dinner, just to, maximize the amount of money that you're able to save during your internship. Obviously, if mommy and daddy are giving you all the monies, good for you. But for my people that are not, you need to start thinking about how you're going to be saving your money during your internship. I kind of want to make a whole other video on budgeting, saving money during college. If you are interested in something like that, comment down below. Or if you also have any tips for that, comment down below, because I'm still trying to save money. So to add on to the point that you are done with college, you are starting a job, again, that you are not getting paid for. But you need to treat your internship like a job interview the entire time. This goes from showing up on time or earlier every single day. This means not procrastinating the work you need to do, because ultimately at that point, if you're in your student teaching, it's not about you anymore. It's about all of those kids that you are teaching. Like, it's not just your life. For me, it was like one of the first times in my life I could not focus on myself because I was focusing on 80 other kids and their lives. And like, that's what being a teacher is all about. And so you kind of have to realize that from day one. You know, you can't go home and just not grade your papers. Like, you can't go home and just not put a PowerPoint together. You can't go home and not think about what's going to happen the next day. You have to take it seriously because it is your job, and above everything else, it is those kids' education. You know, it was a little bit different because I taught a 9th grade elective. So although I did take it very, very seriously, I didn't have an issue with taking it seriously. Like, I stressed myself out enough with taking it seriously. If you were teaching American history and they take an EOC, Sweet Pea, if they fail that, that's a graduation requirement. Not going to say that's on you, but if you do a piss poor job, that is on you. I mean, it is kids' lives that you are affecting, and you need to take that seriously. I feel like for most people, that's like a duh, like a, you know, if you do have a true passion to become a teacher, that's at the forefront of your mind. But it's crazy to me how many people did not realize that, you know? Furthermore, when it goes into being prepared, because this is a job, you need to know what you are going to do in your classroom every single day before you walk into that room. Sort of the consistent routine that I got into was every single day I would go home from school, open up my computer, and then figure out exactly what I was going to do the next day. I had to separate myself from school. Like, I had to leave. Like, I could not stay there any longer. I was like, I got to go home and plan. But I would know exactly what I was going to do and then plan a little bit extra as well, of course, in case my lesson wasn't long enough. But, that's always going to end up working out in your favor if you overplan, because then the next day it's like, okay, I have this planned already. Now I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and it'll just continue to build off of itself. Now, when I was in my internship, I pretty much made everything, because world culture geography isn't like a huge like class that's required like world or American history or like government and econ, where it's mandatory. So there weren't as many resources for geography, so I ended up making a lot of my own material. Girl, now that I teach world history, I buy every single thing I use, but you buy and you alter, and that's how you do it. And I always tell my kids, is it worth more to me 12 hours of my time to make the same stuff, and that's probably not as good, or $30? I'm always going to think my time is more valuable than $30 to make lesson plans and tests and all of those things. So while I do think it's valuable and you need to know how to make a lesson plan and make a good activity, and I encourage you to do those things during your internship, don't be afraid to buy stuff also, especially if it's something like American history where they have an EOC at the end of the year. Don't be afraid to get those really good lesson plans off of Teachers Pay Teachers. And if you haven't looked at Teachers Pay Teachers yet, sis, what are you doing? You need to get on that. And last but not least, man, I feel like this video is really scoldy, but I get very passionate when people don't take teaching seriously, because I take it seriously. Number 4, and this is really the last one, and then I have something else, but number 4 is that your student teaching is a wake-up call. Because during your student teaching, you are it's one of two things, okay? One of two things. You are either going to realize that this is what you flippin' love to do, and it warms your heart and gives your heart so much joy, or you're going to realize that this is not for you. And that's just the reality of it. I graduated with 25 people out of my program, I think, and I'm not a majority, but a lot of them have realized, not even a lot, half-ish or less have realized that it's really not what they want to do. And it's sad to me because they have the potential to be such great teachers, or they are such great teachers because they care and they give that effort, but it's not what they want to do. And it's sad, but it's true. And for me, it sucks because teaching is what I love to do, and it's something that I'm very, very passionate about, and I love the kids and I love going to school every day, but I also know it's not something I want to do for the rest of my life. If you hate your internship and it's not even that bad, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had kids who had, I say kids, I had friends who had decent internships and still realized that it's not what you wanted to do. But if you were in like an ideal situation but you just hate being a teacher, like, please look for a different career path, because truly we do not need more teachers who hate what they do. We need teachers who love kids and want to teach kids and who are appropriate and make a difference. Like, I think it's just a time to be real honest with yourself about what you want out of life and a career, because you definitely don't want to be stuck doing something you don't want to do. Take a pause, like, when you're leaving school, to ask yourself if you're happy. Like, do you leave that day feeling good? Because if you don't, and it's consistent, there might be an issue. So it's funny because as I was writing down my notes for what I was going to say for this, my internship teacher called me, and we are close and I love her dearly. But I told her, I was like, I'm about to sit down and film this video. Is there anything that you want to say? Because she has been teaching now for 16 years. She has had a plethora of student teachers, internship kids. But I was the most recent one. She did not have one this year. I'm her favorite. Are you shocked? I just wanted her to get her input on some things that she would say from the cooperating teacher's perspective of things she would, like, advice she would give to you guys for what to expect during your internship. So she said, don't try to be the teacher you're interning under. Just be yourself. Take advice and criticism, but you have to be yourself. Because if you are not yourself, your kids are going to see right through that. Like, for example, if you are interning under a teacher who is like, XYZ, this is how it needs to be, this is how this needs to be done, this is the way my classroom runs, you're not going to, very like boom, 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 but they're like intimidating and the kids already know to respect them. If you're like a 90-pound girl, boy, whatever, and you walk in there and you're 5 foot tall and you try to command the same respect that teacher has established over years and years and years, you're gonna get laughed out of that classroom. I promise you, you just got to be yourself. You can't mimic what they are and hope to get the same outcome, if that makes sense. If you are who you are and you're fair, the kids are going to like you more often than not. If they don't, maybe you have a bad personality. She also suggested that whenever you start your internship, you need to sit down with your cooperating teacher and discuss your expectations, which I do think is something that's really important, because some teachers will wait 2 weeks before their cooperating intern teaches in front of the class. I had 4 days. So it just depends on the teacher, but it is important to sit down and address the expectations of what is expected. Some cooperating teachers want a lesson plan every single day. It's their classroom, like, just do it, I guess. But set those clear expectations, because you don't want it to be 2 months in and you're miserable because you guys were on different pages about what was going to happen in your classroom. And the last thing she said is, again, don't be afraid to ask for help. If you are struggling, you need to let somebody know that you're struggling so that they can help you. Yeah, I think that was, just in a nutshell, my survival guide tips for a secondary internship. I think those are pretty basic across the board between middle school and high school. If you have any questions about high school specific things, because I can probably answer those a little bit better, just leave your comments down below. If you have any questions about anything at all, leave your comments down below, because I would love to talk to you guys. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!